Peace, and blessings. I definitely want to welcome you all. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so sorry for being late. We're supposed to start at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, but this is the official first episode of Scar Tissue Talk Show, which is hosted by the famous published author, the one and only Selena Turner out of Michigan, Illinois. But she was having some technical issues, so as you know, in entertainment, the show must go on, and so I'm always ready to step up. So I'm going to be hosting this first show, but then you'll be able to have the pleasure of being the show hosted by Selena Turner going forward. But we have a fantastic guest. And first, let me just give you a backstory real quick of what scar tissue is and why, I had to create this show. I had a dream and I woke up and I was like, I know that it's so many people that suffer from scars when it comes to their self-esteem that has affected their confidence. There's a lot of times when people look in the mirror and they see that scar and it affects their psyche to where they're not able to go forward in life to do some of the things they thought because they always worried about what people would think of them, when they see this scar, whether it's a hidden scar that maybe your partner or someone in a relationship may see, or a scar that's very visible that's like maybe on your face, your arm, your hand, anything of that nature, you know what I'm saying? But whatever it is, I want to welcome you all to contact me to be able to be on this show called Scar Tissue so you can tell your story because we want to hear your story. And we want to remind you that you are beautiful. And no matter what type of scar you have, it might be a self inflicted scar because a lot of people suffer from depression and sometimes people can be suicidal and sometimes, unfortunately, hurt themselves. So sometimes they have put scars. I want to hear your story. It might be a scar from surgery, you know what I mean? And still, that can affect your self-esteem. I want to hear your story. You could be a gunshot victim, you know what I mean, and you know maybe live that life or whatever the case may be. Still, we want to hear your story. We appreciate everyone's story. Everyone's still very important, and I want to know you. Let you know this is I said it. I said it, and I'm saying you beautiful. You know what I'm saying? Because black is beautiful, white is beautiful, all nationalities is beautiful because we human beings. You know what I mean? We all created in the image of God, and so you know what I mean. No matter what we go through, whether you lost a limb or whatever the case may be, I want you to know that can't nothing stop you, and don't let nothing to what somebody say about you affect. You know what I mean? How you feel because at the end of the day, you know what I mean, you created in the image of God, Jesus Christ, and we all beautiful. With that being said, let me go ahead and start this show now that y'all understand what scar tissue is all about. So featuring our first guest is actually a good friend of mine, and she's also resides out of Michigan, Illinois. And I'm so grateful to have her back on my platform. You've seen her a couple of times. She's appeared on the Square Table Talk Show. She's been on From Her Point of View Talk Show. She's been all over the place, and I even had the chance and pleasure of interviewing her. And I'm talking about the one and only Jazzie No Nonsense highlight, underline, no nonsense, the poet. You know what I'm talking about? Welcome to the show, Queen. Let me go ahead and bring her in.
Hey,
Peace, peace and blessings.
hello,
Queen. How
hello,
you
hello.
doing?
What's up? Glad to be here on the new show. Glad to be here. Thank you for the invite, for sure. Thank you so much. I appreciate, anytime anybody invite me to their precious platforms. Thank you.
No, absolutely. And thank you so much for everyone that's tuned in presently right now, live with us, and everyone that will see this show later. Share this video. You know what I mean? Share this with someone that you know that this may be relevant to, someone that you know who is affected by, a scar that they have and has affected their life so they can tell their story here on this platform. Thank you for Global Empire Entertainment Media. The legendary Teresa Taylor out of Chi-Town is tuned in. Thank you so much, my friend. I really appreciate you, Queen. Yeah, so let's get it though. So again, Jazzy, you here today because you know what I mean, you have a scar that has plagued you at some point in your life and it's something that you had to get over, you know what I mean, just dealing with this. And a lot of people is anxious and excited to hear about your story. And so I want to just get a floor to you. I don't want to say too much. I've said enough, I feel like. But I just want to start by just welcoming you again to the show. Thank you so much for being open to share your story as our first official guest. You know what I mean? Thank you so much,
I
Queen.
love it.
But before we get into that, please, can you give them a backstory exactly who Jazzie No Nonsense the Poet is and how they can support your platform and find you?
Yeah, sure. I'm Jazzie No Nonsense the Poet, the CEO of the Elite Money Squad Entertainment Company, where I manage all genres of artists, rappers, poets, dancers, actresses, whatever your talent may be. Also, event planner as well, a filmmaker, a writer, director, producer. I write my own movies. I have written two movies that want to be back on Tubi, and the rest will be on Tubi as well. And TV host as well, mobile podcast, on location media, philanthropist as well, community activist, so yeah, that's Jazzie No Nonsense Poet. And, yeah, just look me up as Jazzie No Nonsense Poet. Thanks.
That way, that way.
Mm,
Thank you so much, Teresa.
mm.
Yes,
In
I think
Detroit,
that is
Detroit,
nice.
Michigan. Mm,
Yeah, Detroit in the house right now, Chicago in the house, Chi-Town, Bloomington in the house.
all
But
right.
yeah, thank you so much for that. I'm so proud of you and everything that you do. So
Thank you.
please, my first question to you is, how have you been able to accomplish all of these incredible feats in the entertainment and business world while dealing with a scar that you said that you had told me that you got when you were younger? Can you get into that and tell us where this scar is, where it came from, and how did it happen?
Okay, you want me to start like from the beginning?
I want you
All
to
right.
start at
I
the
mean, not that beginning. I mean,
beginning.
beginning on how I got the start, right? So yeah, so I got the scar when I was 14 years old. So that's pretty young to be getting a major scar, on your
Yeah.
body that you wasn't trying to get. You wasn't in the game. I mean, well, a little bit, but I was, I was sort of, but you wasn't trying to get no tattoo or nothing like that. So yeah, I was 14 years old when I broke my hip and had to get a rod placed in my hip at 14 years old. So I want to say
Mm,
something first. I was like this tall. Well, you can't see how tall I am, but I'm like 5'6.5" right now. And this how tall I was when I broke my hip. But I was supposed to be like
mm,
way taller. I was supposed to been like,
mm,
they said I would have got to been like maybe 6 feet, 5'8", 5'11", but they had to stop my growth
mm,
because I had to get this rod in my hip and it was going to be a certain size, so they had to stunt my growth at that time. So that was already a whole alteration, on my life,
mm,
just doing that part. But how I came to be breaking my hip was I was out in the streets fighting, about to fight, and I ended up falling on it and I broke it. And I broke it about to
mm.
fight some people out in the street, doing something that I wasn't supposed to do. Because my mother that same day had told me not to go past this certain street, and I did
Straight like
anyway.
that.
I did
Mm,
anyway. And that was the outcome for real, not being obedient. Not so there's a lot of life lessons into how, what this scar did to my life, a whole bunch of gem droppings, throughout the way. Because it was a long time to recovery, for a long time. So I I broke it, and let's get to the recovery part. First of all, just the pain in itself of the whole
mm,
thing was like tremendous pain. And when they rolled me in the hospital, the doctor, was telling my mother, what they was going to do. And I thought they was about to chop my whole leg off. I'm like, oh my God, they want to chop my leg off. They were like, no, no. Because I was like the first one to get this surgery at such a young age. They had just like started doing these type of surgeries, back then. And I was the first one, first youngest person for them to ever do this on. Thank God my mother had that good insurance, you know what I'm saying? Blue Cross Blue Shield
mm,
back in the day. That's right. But yeah, I had to include that because they got a lot to do with it as well. On
mm,
how well I did. And so once, I got through that whole part, I had to learn how to re-walk again.
right.
I was in the hospital for like 3 months, and they had to learn me how to walk and up the stairs, down the steps, and I was just like really incapacitated for like a year. Where I couldn't was I where I wasn't mobile on my own. But how the scar really affected my life in so many ways is that I was a dancer, before I broke it. I was a dancer, and I was in used to have some groups and stuff, and we used to be dancing, salt and pepper, push. You know what I'm saying? We had little routines
Yeah,
going
yeah,
on and all those things, and I was like the captain of the dance group and things like that. So when that happened, that all came to a halt. So that altered my life in a, in another way, where okay,
right.
passion, where I still have a passion for that right now. I still have a passion for dancers and things like that, but I couldn't do what I normally could do. So that kind of went to the wayside. And then it was just a lot to handle as a 14-year-old, trying to handle walking again and handle kids, teasing you, they should take my crutch and be like, you can walk and leave me standing on the corner. It was just so many things. It was just so
Me
many
too.
things, that one incident, that scar that got 22, staples on it, even
Wow.
before I could
22.
even think about showing my body, or whatever I wanted to be, you know, that was just like gone for me in my head. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a wrap. If I wanted to be a swimsuit model or anything like that, or a model or anything like that, uh, those starts were gone. Those were gone. So that was a lot of ways that I had to get over it, and it was another way that. And the reason why I can just like say, like every step by step is because I know every step by step. You know what I'm saying? I know every step by step, and I didn't, thought and processed all these things many years ago. You know what I'm saying? I'd have been through this process many years ago to getting over here, because not being able to walk, when I was able to walk again, I didn't have the same walk.
Right.
I had a whole new walk. You know what I'm saying? I
Right.
had a whole new walk. I had a whole freaking new walk that I didn't like. Like, I didn't like the walk because it was like a limp walk. And I was like, and then not being able to express, these things to no one, just like going along with it, being a child and going along with it and trying to just deal with it, on a daily, nobody really never saying nothing. How you feel about, this and that, that your life just changed like this, nobody ever never asked me that. So I just had to deal with everything that I was dealing with in the inside and had to try to recover everything on my own. And, which I did, that's why I can, you know, talk about it like I can talk about it because I have processed it so many times, in my head and physically and mentally and, everything like that to get to the point where I am, to get to the point where, you know, I wasn't going to let it affect me, like, affect me in a way where, okay, I'm just going to pity myself and be like, I ain't going to try to do this and I ain't going to try to do that. I'm just going to keeping this one little ground and say, "Oh, I got this handicap," because that's what it really was. It was a handicap. It was a
Right.
disability, that I didn't have,
Yeah.
that I wasn't born with. You know what I'm saying? So then
Yeah.
once I taught myself a new walk, a whole new walk that I had to be comfortable with. So it was a whole bunch of brain stuff going on. Going through that. It was so yeah.
Yeah. What? No, wow, it's so much to respond to. You know what I mean? That's a lot, and I can't imagine as a young person so tender. You know what I mean? To have to go through something so traumatic. You know what I'm saying? Like you say, you may have been doing something you're supposed to do, but at the same time, no child has to deserve to have to go through all of that because kids is already can be evil in school. You know what I'm
Right.
saying with the teasing and
Right.
the bullying and stuff. And so I can't imagine what you had to go
Right.
through. I also want to real quick acknowledge and share Global Empire. Hold on. Global
Mm.
Empire, my friend three, she says, "Yep, I got hit by a car, not remembering. Mama told me always watch when crossing the streets. I am very self-conscious about my knee scar from surgery. I totally understand that. Understand that.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
absolutely.
You
Yeah, we
know,
got to get you on this show, Teresa, also, so you can talk about your knee surgery and tell us about that car accident as a child as well. But
right.
Jazzy, you know, let's get into the kind of the bullying part. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to the teasing
Mm,
part, like if you
right.
dare to go back that to that
Yeah.
time, and just kind of
So
talk about your experience when you had to go back to school with that type of scar
right.
and that
So I
injury.
have to go back. Imagine going back to school after you supposed to got in a fight and now you on crutches.
Right,
Okay.
everybody like you walk.
Man, you supposed to have been the tough one. So
Mm,
imagine going back to school or going back to the neighborhood, not even to school, because I think I wasn't even going back to school yet. I don't even remember going to school
mm,
like for a long time. And just imagine going back to the hood on a crutch. Now you're disabled where once you was walking the
right.
hood. Now you less protected.
Mm.
'Cause now you can't run and nothing, you can't do nothing now.
Yeah,
Right?
you vulnerable, more vulnerable.
And
Yeah.
you're vulnerable now. You're really vulnerable now. And imagine, you know, it went down a certain way, but people thinking it went down another way, causing you a little hit on your reputation. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? If we gonna talk about it, we gonna talk about it.
Yeah.
You know, so that was one of the parts too. It was the street thing part of it. It was the disability part of it where I couldn't get around, so I had to stay close to home and things like that. And my friends wasn't, you know, they weren't gonna wait on me because they didn't. They didn't wait on me. They was like,
Mm.
"We out." That's when there's a lot of life lessons. Like you got to depend
Like
on
when
yourself, and that's what it taught me a lot. You got to depend on yourself. People who even at a young age say your friend, your best friend. But when it get down and dirty, who really gonna be there for you? You know what I'm saying? For real.
yeah,
And
excuse me.
they
Yeah,
was
no, I'm
like,
sorry.
gone. That's what I was saying. Like they'd take my crutch. I tell them I
Yeah.
can't walk without that crutch because I literally couldn't walk
Mm.
without that crutch because that whole leg was paralyzed.
Right.
It stayed numb for a long time, months. And so it needed help all the time. So they would just take the crutch, run down the street, trying to force me to walk, and I would be standing there. Just all kind of stupid kid stuff. Then I don't even remember going to school. So I had to be out of school. Like must be a long time, a long time.
I got a couple of questions in reference to all of that, what you saying.
Mm,
Um, first, if I may, I'm gonna start here. When you saying that, like they went on without you, basically. Like as a child, that's kind of like when you get into the parties and there's all types of stuff going on. You know what I mean? Prom will be coming up in a couple years. Like, you know, did you participate? Did you go to prom? Like, did you go to some of the parties? Like, how did that affect you when going out to be more social with things that was going on in the neighborhood that you would have regularly had went to?
well, yeah, it made me different. After that, I was a lot in my head a lot. Come to think about it, it was seeming like people could see the scar on the outside. You know what I'm saying? That they knew I was like wounded. You know, like she like a weak one right now. You know what I'm saying? That's what I was
Right.
like. And like we can attack her. We can
Mm,
attack her because she been like broken. You know what I'm saying? She got a weak spot.
yeah.
You know what I'm
She don't
saying?
like
She got a
the
weak
fact
spot.
that hit you while
And
you're
I tried
down.
to have that all the time. I tried to have that all the time. I tried to have that weak spot all the time. All the time I
Mm,
tried to have that weak spot. Like, so yeah, I had to change my walk and everything for you couldn't see that weak spot,
mm.
you know.
Yeah. Yeah, that's sad. That's so sad. Now, what type of support did you get at home? with your family, you because it could clearly see that you was depressed and going through it. You know what I'm saying? Did you get any like? Did you feel like you had support at home or any family members or cousins or somebody, siblings?
No, when my mother was a single mother, she was working at the plant. So she was working and she was working. I was at home. My little brother, he was like, I was my brother about 4 years old, and he was like 10 years apart. He was like 4 years old, and no, no, it wasn't no special treatment. Still, like, wasn't no. I came home. I came home from the hospital after being there 2 or 3 months. I thought stuff was
Two,
going,
three
different
months.
in my head. I'm thinking like, well, maybe they're gonna be to move the furniture out the way, and no,
Right.
everything is what it is. You maneuver. Ain't
Mm.
no, is this all right? No, no. I don't know. That
Now
wasn't
you.
intentional. It wasn't. I don't even think they thought about it like that. You know what I'm saying? That what I had just went through. I don't think my mother really saw it like that. Like maybe I need to. I don't think she saw it like that. 'Cause she was busy. Raising 2 kids. I done went across the street and got hurt. Now she dealing with that. So no, I don't think it wasn't intentional that. But in my head, I thought it was gonna be like, you came home, all right. Like somebody coming home having a baby or something, I guess. But no.
Right.
No, it was like
Right.
get in where you fit back in and
Mm.
so but it
So
wasn't. I know
maybe.
she had that insurance though to give me that good ass surgery. Working that job. And now she had that
Right.
insurance. Huh?
Yeah. Thank God. Thank God you had insurance.
Yeah, the good insurance, not no welfare insurance.
Yeah. Okay.
That good insurance that they want to spend.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If I ain't had that, no telling. They probably send her home, just crippled my.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you got to balance it out. You know what I'm saying? You got to balance it out. Got to
Yeah. The
balance it
wrong
out.
insurance. Yeah. Excuse me. The wrong insurance. They give you ice pack and send you home.
You know what I'm saying?
Tell you to elevate it and
Ah, you
and
think I
calm
would have got
down.
a damn $50,000 surgery, bro?
Yeah, that's serious though. Now,
That's serious.
if you can, and I appreciate you sharing everything that you have so far. You know what I mean? I know this is delicate. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? A delicate. You know what I'm saying? Experience for you that you went through, and I'm just proud of you. You know what I'm saying? How far you come. You know what I mean? And how you that didn't stop you from being just the incredible woman that you are today.
thank
Now,
you.
um, now you said you was in the hospital for 2, 3 months.
Yeah,
Wow, talk about that part.
because back when this was in the late '80s, so this surgery had just was invented. So like today, I worked in healthcare like for 15 years, so I done took care of a lot of ortho patients who have knee surgeries and hip surgeries. So today they only keep you in the hospital like 3 days, because they use more laser technology and things like that. But it's still full of pain, and you still full of pain and swole. But I guess they say you do better at home. But in my
Mm,
case, mine was a little longer too because it wasn't an elective surgery. First of all, it was a break. Now, when they go for knee surgeries and hip, that's elective surgery. They don't come in
mm,
there broken, right? You know what I'm saying? So I came in broken first. So I was in traction, like they had to put like steel poles through my leg while I was awake, drill
mm,
holes through my leg to the other side of the
mm,
bone while
mm.
I was awake, looking at it
Why
with a
why
little
was you
nummy.
awake? Why you didn't get anesthesia?
They said they couldn't put me to sleep or something. They like numbed it. I don't know. Maybe because my leg had swelled up so bad. This was a whole thing. I was outside laying on the grass. It was a whole big thing. The whole neighborhood out there was a whole big thing. You know what I'm saying? You can't even imagine the whole
How
the whole
long?
neighborhood was out there. So everybody at the end. you know how the neighborhood get with somebody in the fight.
Right.
Everybody
Right.
come
Right.
out.
Right.
So I'm out there laid out on the grass. They didn't cut my new leaf ass open. This is the whole thing. It's a whole thing. And so my leg just swole up. So now I can't have the surgery immediately because my leg didn't swole up. This is, this not elective. This is broken. So they had to
Mm.
put me in traction and hang me up from the ceiling for like a
What?
week. It's up like
A
there
week.
with my leg in the ceiling like that with these poles coming out my leg, for the
Oh
swelling
God.
to come down. I'm at 14, bro.
Mm.
Okay. At 14.
It's a lot.
Thank God he just didn't like erase my memory from this this type of this type of drama. That's probably why I got fibromyalgia to this day. So
Mm.
I'm laid up there in traction for a week. I'm got to depend on the hospital, take me to the bathroom, all those things. I'm totally
Mm.
incapacitated. So then
Mm.
after that, they give me the surgery. Now they give me the surgery. Now that swelling got to come down, and then after that, I got to learn how to walk again, all over again, like a child. I got to learn how to walk up the steps because my leg is totally paralyzed. It has no feeling at all. It's totally weak. It's gone. That break broke it. So I had to learn how to do all that again. And I was trying to get out of there. I was trying to get out the hospital because I was in there like all summer long. I like had a whole summer like in the hospital. Mount Carmel, you don't even know about it, but that was one of the hospitals back in the day. Um, or was it Henry Ford? I believe it was Henry Ford back in the day when I did that. And
Yeah.
what make that so funny now that I got that hit, when you get a piece of machinery in your body, you
Yeah.
like tagged forever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's got a serial number and everything.
Mm.
Ain't nobody like when you have a surgery like that, only the surgeon can like mess with it again, unless, he dies, something like that. Of course, they wouldn't just let you get, but that's the way it's supposed to be. You're supposed to go back to the natural surgeon, for things like that. But yeah, so
Mm.
it was a whole long process. It wasn't just like, oh, I broke my hip, I got to know. No, no, it was the whole thing. It was the whole thing. I was laid in the hospital the
Mm.
whole summer long. Then came home on a crutch. Still couldn't walk without that crutch. That lasted for I don't know how long. It just lasted a long time. I don't even know how long. Lasted a long time. So yeah, still having to be me.
Yeah.
Still
Wow.
having
That's.
to literally show no mercy.
Mm. Yeah.
Just
And and like Teresa said, that which does not kill us makes us a beast.
you you see me
Like
now.
you said. Yeah, we tend to overcompensate for our weaknesses. True.
Right. Straight
Yeah,
up.
and
Yeah.
that's exactly what
Yeah.
you have done in every aspect. You know what I'm saying? You did that. And to jump back real quick in reference to where you said that you came back home and really nothing was the same, and you had to maneuver around the furniture and how everything was. Maybe the way that everyone dealt with it is because you were so strong prior to that, they just assumed or presumed that you just the still strong young lady, that young girl that they knew prior. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So that
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So maybe that's one reason why, things didn't change in reference to how they maybe they didn't why they didn't spoil or try to cater to you more.
I can see that. I can see that. That's a real good possibility. That's a real good possibility. That is true. That's I can see that. I can see that.
Yeah.
And
And
I
then
know what I didn't say nothing to. I didn't say anything.
you never
You
talked to your parents, your mom about that, or how you felt.
Nope.
Mm,
Mm-mm. Never about the pain. Never. Nope. Nope. Never.
mm. Wow.
I
That's a lot to
it
deal
was
with
just
for a
life. I
young
guess it
girl.
was just life at the time, and I was just like, I probably, I was 14. I didn't know probably what to think, but ain't nobody saying nothing to me, so I ain't gonna say nothing to nobody, right? Like,
Right. Mm.
and you know what? That just tells you a lot. When you snap back and you got those nostalgic moments about your past like that, and then you gotta look at the youth of the day. You gotta look at the youth and imagine what I felt at 14, just going through that and all the things that they see, and it's how could they possibly comprehend some of the choices that they make today. That's what let
Mm.
you know that I didn't even have the whereof to say something about it
Mm.
because I didn't probably even know how to word it or let my emotions out to say it at such a young age, even know how to even say go to my mother and be like, when I'm really feeling this type of way and this type of way and I can't do this no more, and I'm really, these kids is doing this to me, and nope.
Yeah.
you know
Yeah. I'm sorry to hear that. Now,
and
with
you
your
gotta be
mom
sorry
being
about it for real though. I mean, it's all like life lessons, part of life, you know what I'm saying. I'm
yeah.
just blessed, that uh, I'm blessed. My guardian angels, they've been always working overtime for me. They be like, girl, bye, bye. They just be
Yeah.
like, cut it out. You know what I'm saying? For real
And
though.
let me highlight something else that your guardian angels did that
Mm,
you may or may not have overlooked. Now, this is
mm.
real particular right here. Them guardian angels showed up after you failed because old girl had the ups on you at that point, right?
She did, and she threw the knife at me.
Right.
When she was what was going on, she was trying to like stab me and stuff like that, and I like blocked it with a radio and like tripped and fell and like bam. So she still threw the knife at me and I had to roll like. So yeah, they was still like bah bah. They was
So were
even
you
though I
still
was down
fighting, you
there,
said?
she was still on my head.
So you were
Yeah,
still fighting.
yeah, yep, yep.
Mm,
After the
yeah.
crack, 'cause it was crack. But right and all that, it was like simultaneously. Like she was coming, I cracked it. I see her, my girls. It was, man, it's a movie.
Mm, yeah. Yeah. Well, you the
you
film
know,
director. You the film director. You sleeping on that movie.
right. Because
Yeah.
I mean, I could just talk about things like this. I really talk about my life candidly anyway, because how else anybody else gonna learn or know that you've been through anything or experienced anything,
Right.
what goes behind a smile. This smile wasn't always here. I'm gonna tell people it really, really. I used to have this smile, but people who don't know, I used
Mm,
to cover it up literally like that for years. Somebody had to
mm,
teach me not to do that. You know what I'm saying? So that's why you got to speak on your experiences of life to let everybody know perception is only one thing. You got to open the
right.
book sometime. You got to open the book to my phone going crazy to really know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Perception is all what it is. But everybody has, had experiences, in life.
Right.
Everybody, no matter what they say or what they look like or what type of status they have,
Right.
everybody has had experiences in life, and you gotta share. That's why you have them, to share them. That's why you have
No.
experience.
Indeed.
I'm trying to enlarge my
Indeed.
phone back to the large part. I don't know what this thing did, how it did it. Okay, there we
What
go.
happened?
I'm back. I'm back. No, you probably didn't even see it happen. It was
Okay.
just me.
No.
It was just my crazy phone. Yeah, so
No. But yeah, that was a lot to go through at a young age, and man, I'm so
what?
grateful for you to be able to share your story and openly, and you know what I mean, and sometimes we go through a lot, and sometimes there's things in life that we deal with, but we sometimes you have to go back and just tell a story and just openly tell it to be able to unlock something else that's inside of you to go forward even more, to become even more successful in your life. And so, I think that it's necessary for everyone who has a scar to, get on this show and tell their story, because, what I'm saying, you never know, you know, you might just needed to get that out. You know what I'm saying?
I know,
And
because
some
I
of the
feel
things you said on
debriefed.
here,
I feel like, I ain't even talked about that story in so long that I really feel like, ooh, I needed to get that off my chest. I'm like, yeah, I'm feeling, a lot better. A lot better even talking about it again, for real though.
thank you, Teresa. Yeah, no, absolutely. What I mean? It feels good to sometimes talk to someone else who's unjudgmental, what I'm
Mm,
saying, about something that you went through, what I mean?
yeah,
And just, because I love you already, but what I'm saying, it's
I
just
love you
like to
too.
hear this part, I just, I feel so bad for that little Jazzy, that little Jazzy had to go through all that, despite little Jazzy was doing something that mama told her not to do, but still, hey, we not perfect and we make mistakes, especially as children and adolescents.
Yes, yes, sure. Yeah, we do. We do, And hopefully, those mistakes, make us better people, and don't turn us to the wicked side. Because a lot of, things can turn you, a lot of things that happen to you can, you decide from things like that,
Right.
you decide and, just hopefully, how to, I guess that has taught me to, learn how to deal with adversity a lot, to be able to still try to, maintain uh, a sense of mind, at adversity, because I done been through a lot of, that's not the only, that's not the only thing, so that's not the
Yeah.
only thing, so I done been through a lot of adversities in my life, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah,
Right.
and I'm willing to, help, tell anybody, anybody to help them, whatever they got from this story, whatever they got, I hope they got something from it, that you can still be great, just keep moving forward, no matter, what happened to you, you just gotta, still, move forward. Gotta still move forward. Life don't stop
Absolutely.
you for nobody. You gotta, if you want to be whatever you want to be, even though you may adversity comes, like daily, little or big or small, however it comes, daily. But you gotta keep moving forward and be happy about it. Love the moments. That's what a lot of
Mm.
pain in my life has taught me. Coming to the age I am now, you gotta love the moments.
Yes,
Suck it
indeed.
in. Like we having a nice time here talking on. I no, this Selena Turner show. So
Shout out to
yeah, I'm
Selena.
favoring it.
Yeah,
I'm saying.
absolutely.
Mhm.
Now, thank you again so much for coming on here, sharing your story. You know what I mean, about your Now, was it a hit replacement
Yep, it was a hit
or hit
replacement.
favorite? Hit
Yep.
replacement.
And I
I
gotta
just
still deal with it today. It's a forever thing. You know what I'm saying? It's a forever thing. It's one of
Yeah,
those
and
forever things. You can't forget about it. It's
yeah,
a forever.
if we can close out the show with me, with you answering that question about basically how does it, in what ways has it affected you as you gotten older in life and become an adult? How do you you know what do you have
Yeah.
to go through? You know what I'm saying, with that
Yeah.
history?
Yeah. Well, it has affected me far as like physically and mentally, like far as people seeing my body as being a woman, that's a big thing for a woman to be able to, show off her body. So by the time I got of age, I was already embarrassed of my body because of that scar, and then physically, I have to, maintain a certain weight. I have to maintain a certain things to keep this thing under control and not bringing me pain all the time. And still being able to walk correctly. And, I always got to keep that on my mind, about walking correctly on how I want to walk, and sometimes it just bring pain, out of anywhere, so it's just something I have to deal with for the rest of my life. And I have, it's just part of life now. It's just a part of my life that will always be.
Mm.
And Just gotta, it is what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. You are so strong, so incredible. Like I say, I can't say that enough. And I'm just so proud of you. Can you remind the people how they can support Jazzie No Nonsense the Poet and where they can
Yeah.
find you at?
They can find me. Just Google me, Jazzie No Nonsense the Poet. Go to my Facebook, Jazzie No Nonsense the Poet, IG, Jazzie No Nonsense the Poet. My Cash App, Jazzie No Nonsense the Poet.
Yes,
And just
sir.
look
Yes,
for me
sir.
on Tubi real soon for Regret Snatch. If y'all want to donate, donate into my film industry because I'm trying to bring more awareness to human sex trafficking. That was Snatch Part 1, and I'm trying to get Snatch Part 2 out here. So call me up at 248-508-2094. You can dial me directly. You want to help me? Dial me directly. You want my mobile podcast on location media? Dial me directly. Make a stand with your brand at 248-508-2094. Thank you, Michael. Love it. Thank you, Selena. Hey, that you couldn't be here, but I know the show is going to, going to be great and do great things. So blessings to all you guys.
No, absolutely. Much love to you, Queen. Salute to you. And just again, just thank you so much for being on the show. And if anybody else would like to be a guest on this show, then you know what I mean. We're not hard to contact. Just go ahead and contact me. You know what I mean. At directly at I said it management at gmail.com and just tell me about your story. You know what I mean? Just the short version so that you can tell the long version live here on Scar Tissue Talk Show hosted by Selena Turner, who unfortunately again is not here for the first episode because she was having some technical issues, unfortunately. You know how technology can be, but it'd be very judgmental sometimes. But hey, with that being said, I'm glad that we had another great interview. I'm so grateful for you. Again, Jazzie, thank you. Let me. Global Empire says we also have Snatch out now on Reveal. Nice meeting you, Queen.
Yep. I got
Yep,
2%.
yep. So thank you so much. Thank you for tuning in, Teresa. Appreciate you, Queen. And yeah, so again, I suggest if you have a scar, again, let me just close it out. Remind you, if you have a scar from surgery, a scar from maybe a self-inflicted scar because of depression, a scar from a gunshot wound, maybe even a scar that you were born with, you know what I'm saying, or had to get at birth or whatever the case, like a deformity to where it's considered a scar. You know what I mean? Anything that has affected your self-esteem, your confidence, we want you to be on this show so that you can tell your story in your way, non-judgmental. We're not here to judge. We're here to salute, praise you, just show you love, and remind you that you are beautiful and you are still beautiful, Jazzie, no nonsense poet. Peace to you,
Thank you.
Queen. Holla at me anytime. You already know. Get back at me. Yep. Thank you so much for everybody that tuned in to our first episode. I think it went well. It went well.
I
I'm
think so.
grateful for this.
It went great.
Absolutely. Yeah. So again, this is Scar Tissue hosted by Selena Turner. But you know my name, celebrity interviewer. I said it, and this was Jazzie, no nonsense, the poet. Yep. So, hey, keep in touch. Be safe, everyone. I hope you enjoy your day, and remember, if you know someone, even if they not ever on this show, just show. I challenge someone to whoever sees
Okay.
this, contact somebody and just check on them who you know who have a scar. You know what I'm saying? Just check on them and remind them that they beautiful. Remind them how important they are. Remind them that they can still do anything. All right. Peace and blessings. One love. You already know. If anybody asks, I said it. Scar tissue. Peace. Peace, y'all.